What is going on, buddy? Welcome back to All Things Film. Today I'm here to talk about what Angela Kang said about Rick's exit, and she said that Rick's exit is similar to a very iconic comic book death. Now, the reason I want to talk about this is because I think, it's the main thing about the reason it's similar to the iconic comic book death is because it's going to have a big effect on the characters, and that's what I want to talk about. So I'm going to give a spoiler warning for issues 166 and 167, but that spoiler warning is mainly for comic book readers who aren't caught up with The Walking Dead. But if you're a TV show fan, I don't think you need to worry that much because first of all, they wouldn't say it if it's a spoiler. So I don't think this is how Rick is going to die. It's just the effect on the characters that had in the comics, and it's going to be an effect on the TV show on the characters. So that's what I want to discuss. So the spoiler warning is out of the way. You shouldn't worry if you're a TV fan or if you've already read the comics. But anyways, let's get down to it. So the death that she is talking about is Andrea. So in the comics, it's Rick and Andrea that are together, but in the TV show, it's Rick and Michonne because Andrea died way back in season 3. Spoiler warning, sorry. But yeah, the reason I mentioned this is because I think the reason she compared it to is because when Andrea died in the comics, it had a big effect on Rick as a character. So whatever happens to Rick in the TV show, it's gonna have a big effect on Michonne and all the other characters, and that's exactly what Angela Kang was kind of talking about. So I'm gonna read exactly what she said. So she said, for comic book readers, they'll know when Rick lost Andrea, that it was a huge moment for him. So we'll be exploring the different directions that Rick goes, and it may not be exactly what you expect. So and then she continues to say, We'll see that Rick and Michonne is one of the strongest relationships that we have on the show. They're raising Judith, they're so in sync with each other, and they support each other's goals. They're not dating each other. Why did I read that as dating? They're not doing exactly the same things. Michonne has her own journey she's going through this season. This being Andy's last season in the show, we're going to explore what did this to Michonne. So yeah, that pretty much says it right there, because I don't think this is how Rick is going to die, because they weren't even mentioned the connection, because that'll be like basically a spoiler that Rick dies, and they're kind of keeping it a little secret because they keep saying when Michonne loses Rick, when Michonne loses Rick. They're not saying when Michonne, when Rick dies. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen to Rick. I don't think Rick is going to die like this, because that'll definitely be like a spoiler, and they basically just gave us away his death. But there's definitely going to have a huge effect on Rick. Now, I want to talk about something else really quickly, because in the comics, Andrea died by, because there's like a walker herd that, basically overtook Alexandria, and while they were dealing with the walkers, she got bit. And it's kind of interesting because season 9 trailer, we've seen a lot of walker herds. We see this big one here where it looks like hundreds of walkers. We see this big walker herd following Rick. And then, so, they are, it is a bit of a tease there, because it seems like, a walker herd is going to be involved in Rick's exit. We don't know exactly how. But it also looks like he got stabbed, because he's dripping blood here. That does not look like a walker bite. And then over here he's holding his side. So, it's hard to tell. But you know what this means. We cannot believe anything that's gonna happen in the trailer, because the trailer, the trailers are usually made to tease for, like, not even The Walking Dead, like movies and everything. Trailers are always made to fool fans. So I don't think the death is given it away in the trailer. But I want to talk about the effects it's gonna have on Michonne, because here's the thing. So if Rick does die, here's the thing. So I don't want Rick to die at all. I want his death to be open-ended, because I don't want Rick to die at all. But if it has to come down to Rick dying, I wouldn't want it to be torn apart by walkers, because that'll be ridiculous. We have seen this man, become a big character, and I don't even have words to explain Rick's journey on The Walking Dead. It's been an amazing journey, and we've seen this guy grow so much, and we don't, us being attached to this character, I don't want him seeing, getting torn apart in 2 seconds. That'll be ridiculous. Hell no. If Rick is gonna die, if it comes down to Rick dying, I would want him to get bitten, or something happens to Rick and he's slowly dying, or stabbed, whatever. I want him to have like a slow death, an easygoing death, and he can talk to people he loves, like Michonne and Daryl and everybody that he loves, and have like a final word to them. That's what I want for Rick. Call me, I don't know what you want to call me, crazy for that, but I don't want Rick to have like getting torn apart by a million walkers. Hell no. We have seen this guy become a crazy, amazing character, and I don't want to see Rick go out like that. That'll be a bit, ridiculous in my opinion. So, but I don't want Rick to die at all. But if Rick is gonna die, I would like to see that happen. But here's the thing. So once Rick exits the show, whatever happens to Rick, it's gonna have a big effect on Michonne, because in the comics, when Andrea died, Rick couldn't see himself leading anymore. He had a hard time, getting back up on his feet. So he was having a hard time, dealing with his death. But that's when the group came and picked him up and said, "We need you, Rick. We need you to rebuild Alexandria because the Walker herd took over. We need you to be a leader for us." And that kind of like picked up Rick and sent him into a new direction. So Rick is there's a lot of talk right now about who could be the new lead after Michonne, after Rick leaves, and not a lot of people are talking about my girl Denai Guerrera, man. I could definitely see Michonne being the lead. Even Rick told her in season 7, after I die or after I'm gone, you're gonna take lead. So I could definitely see Michonne being a lead. This is definitely gonna have a huge effect on the characters, and two prominently I think is gonna be Michonne and Daryl. First of all, because I think Daryl is not seeing eye to eye with Rick right now, and then after Rick's exit, I think he's gonna be like, damn, I just lost my brother. And it's gonna definitely change his character, because that's what happens with Daryl. A lot of times Daryl doesn't change until something bad happens, and then that changes his character. And then Michonne obviously being together with Rick, that's gonna have a huge effect on Rick. And if Rick does die, I could see something similar like this happening, with Rick and Michonne, sitting by a bedside. But the fact that Angela Kang brought this up, I feel like it's not gonna happen, because there'll be no reason why they would bring it up and then him dying the exact same way. So we don't know exactly how Rick is gonna die. It's hard to tell because everything is contradicting each other. Stuff. It's his last season. It's saying I'm not exactly doing Rick Grimes yet. Like, it's hard to tell. The trailer, it looks like it got bit. It looks like there's gonna be walkers. It looks like he got stabbed. It's hard to tell exactly what happened. So what I'm thinking is, like, we don't know. We don't even know what way he's going out. Like, it's gonna be some way that's gonna be absolutely crazy and fans aren't expecting. But I'm gonna leave it off there though. But in the comments down below, be sure to leave your thoughts and opinions of how you think Rick will go, how you think this connection will be. If you are happy about this connection, leave your thoughts on the issue 166 and issue 67. But that's pretty much it for me, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating for more Walking Dead videos like this. Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button. It's been all things film, and until next time, peace.